So in this video, we are going to be going over part 1 of the cardiovascular system. We're going to start with the pericardium. Pericardium gives protection against infection and provides lubrication for the heart. Now we're going to go to the heart. The heart is a blood pump for two circuits, the pulmonary and systemic circuits. The heart pumps oxygenated blood to the body, the systemic circuit, and deoxygenated blood to the lungs, the pulmonary circuit. That brings us to the coronary vessels. The coronary vessels supply oxygen-rich blood to the heart. Now we're going to go to the right atrium. The right atrium is the collecting chamber for deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood arrives to the right atrium through the inferior and superior vena cavas. Now that brings us to the left atrium. Left atrium is the collecting chamber for oxygen-rich blood from the lungs. So now we're going to go to the right ventricle. The right ventricle is the pumping chamber that pumps oxygen-poor blood to the left and right lungs. And that brings us to the left ventricle. The left ventricle spreads oxygen-rich blood all around the body. And that brings us to the anterior vena cava. The anterior vena cava is where oxygen-poor blood is returned from upper systemic veins. Now we're going to go to the posterior vena cava. Posterior vena cava brings oxygen-poor blood from the lower systemic veins. That brings us to the pulmonary trunk, which pumps oxygen-poor blood to the lungs. Now we're going to go to the aortic arch. The aortic arch is the pathway between the ascending and descending aorta. And now we're going to end with the brachiocephalic artery, which supplies blood to the right arm, head, and neck.